Hello there. What is going on, everybody? We're going to be talking about the Crashed Escape Pod Battlefield expansion for Star Wars Legion. This is a whole lot more than just a Battlefield expansion because we're also getting R2-D2 and C-3PO, who are usable in both the Rebellion and the Republic. So if you play Clone Wars or Galactic Civil War, there may be something in here for you. And if you play neither of those, there's still a terrain piece. But I think a lot of people aren't really buying these just for the terrain pieces. I think they're buying them for the other things. And I think this is a good way to go. I think it's a good way for you to just sell some stuff to spice up the game and also put a terrain piece in there at the same time. But then again, some people are like, boy, but I'm spending like 30 bucks just for R2-D2, you know, and like I just wanted him. I don't care about the escape pod. I personally am not a big fan of the escape pod itself, but I could definitely see, instead of painting it sand colored, painting it white and maybe making it like an escape pod that lands on Hoth. I could see that being snow that it lands in. And this also makes me think Viper droids, probe droids, right? Imperial probe droids, just like the opening scene from Empire Strikes Back. This is the thing that comes down and the little probe droid gets out of it. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking about this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I really want to see probe droids now. And we also get a look at R2 and 3PO, and they're looking good. It's kind of hard to screw these guys up. They're pretty standard, and I think they look great. And looks like deep grooves in those sculpts, so you should be able to get some real good paint on these fellas. And it's also easy to recognize C-3PO because his arm is not red, so it's real easy to identify that that's him. So that's helpful. That's really helpful. We do get a look at the card spread here, and wouldn't you know it, R2 is an operative. An operative. That is interesting. I wasn't sure how they were going to do these guys, but R2-D2 is an operative. I was wondering if they were going to have the gall to make him a commander or something like that, which just because R2-D2 is a pilot now in X-Wing. So he's flying ships and maybe leading missions, but yeah, I guess it makes sense for him to be operative. I don't generally run dual operatives, so it looks like it would be very easy to fit this unit into just about any build, as long as it's Republic or Rebellion. But he's also going to have his own command cards, and it's also going to come with a terrain piece, and it's going to also come with a couple of different scenarios that you can play for the crash landing, and you know, that's kind of cool. But I got to admit, I'm not really into this for the terrain piece or the scenarios. I love having those as options, although I am just more leaning towards, because we're getting so much new stuff right now with Legion, I'm really just leaning towards, you know, the actual core game. Like, let's play an 800-point game. I don't usually want to do scenarios all that often. When I can play, I want to try a new list that I haven't tried yet, because there's so much stuff that's new and so much more stuff coming out all the time. So I can kind of set the scenario stuff to the side a little bit. We're getting a copy of that integrated comms antenna, so we can they can be issued orders up to range 4 instead of range 3. There's also another comms upgrade somewhere in there, and we get a close-up look at R2's first pip command card, and this one looks kind of cool. The art on that is just ridiculous, though. Like, it's funny. I'm not saying like ridiculous bad. I'm saying ridiculous like, wow. I don't even know. It's like it's beautiful, and I don't know. I'm speechless at this art. That's what I'm gonna go with. But it's kind of cool here. So 1 pip for R2-D2 only. R2-D2. Now keep in mind, when it says R2-D2 only, if C-3PO is the counterpart to R2-D2, he's in R2-D2's unit, so it's going to affect them both. And I'll talk a little bit more about counterpart when I get to. I'll talk about C-3PO at the end of the video, as well as the next giveaway, or the giveaway that's going on right now. I'll talk about that at the end of the video as well. So R2-D2 increases his maximum speed by 1, so he goes from speed 1 to speed 2. He also gains a dodge token, a suppression token, disengage, and jump 1. So this is a great card to get him out of harm's way. I'm curious why he needs the dodge, though, because if he has a suppression, he's going to be inconspicuous. You're not going to be able to shoot him at all. So unless, of course, you're thinking about mines or bombs or things like that, those could go off. So I guess that's one of the advantages of the dodge at this aspect, because maybe a bomb or a mine or a charge could be detonated. But it also makes me wonder if there's maybe a way that somebody might be able to remove a suppression token from somebody like R2-D2. I wonder if there's any new characters that might, like, what would removing a suppression thematically be? Telling your people to get up, like inspiring them, but this is from the context of maybe an enemy would do it to you. So how is an enemy going to inspire you? Maybe like a taunt keyword? Ooh, let me know who you think would be a good person to do that, like to taunt you, like to get the suppression off of them. I think it would have to do more than just remove a suppression. Like remove a suppression and then they must attack you on their next activation if it's this turn or something like that. Like I think that's a cool keyword, and it would pull double duty because it would help things like R2 and 3PO, and it would also hurt things like maybe Jin or Rebel Pathfinders that want to keep a certain amount of suppression on them. Interesting stuff. I'm just curious if that's maybe one of the reasons why the dodge is there as well. But yeah, R2 is definitely going to want to have that suppression as often as he can get it because of his inconspicuous keyword. But before I talk about the keywords, let's look at the unit card itself. R2-D2 is an operative. He is 35 points. And he doesn't have that much, but he's got some cool stuff. He's only got the comm upgrade, so you can't give him much else, and you might not even give him a comm upgrade, depending on, it really depends on what the other card is. He has a melee and range 1 weapon of electroshock, which means he can attack beyond range 1, which also means he can't ever hit like a snow speeder, because anything that has immune to range 1 now. So that's certainly something. I think this is maybe the first ranged weapon that I've seen that's specifically range 1 outside of grenades. I guess the flamethrowers. Yeah, there's a couple of range ones. It's the first primary weapon I think I've seen on a character that's restricted to range 1. Unless, of course, I'm just missing something, and I'm sure you guys will let me know in the comments section. But he's got Surge to hit and Surge for defense, which is pretty good, considering he's only got that white defense die. 4 health is not half bad for R2-D2, though. 2 courage. He's a brave little droid. Now, he has Repair 2, Capacity 2, just like the other astromechs tend to have. Not really that great. I don't really see using R2 behind to save a tank or something like that. But, I mean, I thematically, I guess that you had to include that. Secret Mission, this is the real kicker for this guy. This is a once-per-game ability. Now, I like this idea of a once-per-game ability. I would love to see more once-per-game abilities because it's freaking cool. It opens up a lot of new design space and gives you the option to have very powerful things that you can't necessarily abuse because if they're only once per game. So Secret Mission, once per game, if you are within an enemy deployment zone, within means completely within, not just touching it, but completely inside it, place a victory token on you. At the end of the game, if you have a victory token, gain that token. So he's like the opposite of bounty. If I can make it to an enemy's deployment zone, I can just pop Secret Mission and boom, I get a victory token. Now the problem is, if a character with bounty kills R2-D2, he's going to take that victory token. And that's, yeah, so like it's a little bit dangerous. You might not want to pop it too early. You know, I wonder if we'll see more bounty hunters because of this. He also has Grounded. You cannot climb or clamber. So you're going to have a pretty tough time. You're not going to be able to go up ladders. You're not going to be able to do any of that stuff. Now, obviously, if you pop your 1 pip and you get jump 1, then you can. But yes, so that's going to be interesting. And it says Grounded. I guess you can still go across difficult terrain, though. And I'm wondering, you know, thematically how that works. But we probably don't need to think too hard about it. Let's just say he'll find a way. He's also got Inconspicuous, and this is really what's going to keep him alive and allow him to really operate. Inconspicuous says, when an enemy unit performs an attack, if you have at least 1 suppression token, it must attack another unit if able. During your rally step, you may choose not to remove your suppression tokens. So I guess maybe that's why the dodge is there. If you're the only person they can attack, then they can still shoot you. So you're inconspicuous. You can't just march into enemy lines and they'll let you in because they can just perform the attack. If there's no other units, then they have to shoot. You know, then if there was other units, they'd have to shoot the other unit. If there's no other units, then they're going to have to shoot you, or they're going to shoot you. And they'll be able to even if you're inconspicuous. So the idea here is that R2-D2 is going to work a lot better if he's trying to get into a deployment zone if he's got an escort. And that can be tricky. That could be really tricky. So like I think there's going to be a real delicate balance on trying to find a way to make him work. Maybe you do take him behind a tank. Maybe you do take him near a snow speeder. Maybe you do. Maybe you, because they'll have to shoot the snow speeder, which already has cover 1, right? So it'll be a little bit tougher to kill the snow speeder, and maybe he can, granted he's only speed 1 though, so he's gonna have a hard time. But if you take that snow speeder, put Ryder or Azadi in there, you do the slower compulsory moves, you might be able to have R2-D2 keep up with the snow speeder, or just have him go one way and have the snow speeder take the long way around, and they meet up when it counts. There's a lot of little interesting ways that you could try to make this work, and I think it'd be fun. He's he's got that suppressive attack with Search to Hit. It's nice 4 health, white defense die. He's only 1 mini, but you can add a C-3PO counterpart. And counterpart is a really cool keyword that basically lets you just take this whole card, attach it to the R2-D2 unit, and say this unit now has a whole nother mini. This is almost like an upgrade slot, but the only problem is you have to run a counterpart onto R2-D2. You couldn't run him on any other unit. So he's basically like a super version of a heavy weapons that can go onto whoever his counterpart ID is. So you can attach C-3PO to R2-D2. He will also have 2 health. So that's kind of cool. So you're going to have 4 and you're going to have 2. And you can assign damage wherever you want. So you can put your first 3 on R2, then you get that 4th one. You can put it on 3PO. Well, maybe that's why they give you 4 damage tokens. Because you wouldn't really, because that's the most you could really have out is 4, and any more than that's going to kill somebody. So I guess that makes sense for 4 damage tokens. 3PO only has clumsy kick, so if you end up in a melee, you could use R2's electroshock and 3PO's clumsy kick, so you could do that. 3PO's not good at that though. He's got calculate odds, which is going to be really, really cool. So you can choose a friendly trooper at range 1 and in line of sight, and it gains an aim, dodge, and suppression token. So you want to do this for yourself a lot of times if you can, but you add a lot of versatility with C-3PO here, because now you can keep them behind. Maybe R2 is going to repair that tank, and C-3PO can start helping out Luke Skywalker. Maybe Luke Skywalker gets off the tank and is going to start charging in, and they're trying to kill Luke, and C-3PO is like calculating the odds for Luke, giving him an aim, a dodge, and a suppression. And some of those characters don't mind having 1 suppression. Maybe you're going to use Distract. Choose an enemy trooper at range 1 to 2 and in line of sight until the end of the round. You lose Inconspicuous, and when that unit performs an attack, it must attack you if able. Maybe Darth Vader's coming in, or Palpatine's coming in, and he's going to try and kill your commander. No, hit me, of course. Palp is just going to fry these little droids like crazy, but that's kind of cool. So there's a lot you can do with R2 and 3PO. You could run R2 by himself. You could run R2 and 3PO. Or alternatively, you could run the Clone Wars version of R2-D2 or the Clone Wars version of R2-D2 with the Clone Wars version of C-3PO. Now, we didn't get a look at those cards yet. They're probably different cards. I don't know if they'll have the exact same keywords or not. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but it does look like we're only getting the 1 set of command cards. So they probably won't be that drastically different, but I could see certain things maybe being a little different. I could see Secret Mission possibly being different. I could see Distract on 3PO possibly being different, or Calculate Odds, because he never, that was more of a Galactic Civil War thing. Never tell me the odds, It'd be kind of interesting. Another thing that's kind of cool is if you're running Han Solo and Chewbacca, and you also run R2 and 3PO, they would take up your operative slot. Now you have room for 1 more commander, so you can have like maybe Leia and Han and Chewie, R2 and 3PO, and you could actually have 3PO, calculate the odds, give it to Han, who might have teamwork with Chewie, right? And then all of a sudden they're also getting an aim and a dodge also. So there's like a lot of really cool little build synergies that you can make this work. I think it's very cool, and it'll be fun to have them on the table. And this artwork. This artwork is just crazy. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about R2 and 3PO. Do you think it's a little kind of like a more of an expensive way to kind of get people to buy this because they're putting it in the terrain pack? Or, what are your thoughts on that? Would you rather them in the future kind of just have the terrain pack by itself and then have R2 and 3PO by themselves, so I don't have to buy both? It's not obscenely expensive, but that does certainly raise the price up, and a lot of people are on a budget and can't afford to buy a crashed escape pod just to get R2 and 3PO. It'd be kind of interesting. But I'd love to hear about that. Also, I do want to remind you guys there is a new round of the giveaway going on right now, and this is different. This is a big giveaway. So I'm giving away 4 different sets of promos. There's going to be 4 winners. So one person will win a Wedge Antilles promo for X-Wing, and then 3 more people will win some MC-80 Assault Cruiser and Leading Shots bundles for Armada. I had more of those, so I made 3 extra bundles. So I'm doing a big giveaway, and if you want extra chances to win, I also have an extra whole set on Patreon, exclusive to patrons as well. But everybody has a chance to win all of this stuff. If you want more chances to win and you'd like to join the team and help support the channel, you can head on over to Patreon and check that out. But yeah, that is going for about 2 weeks. I will announce when, as we get closer, I'll announce when I'm going to announce the winners. But there's going to be a lot of winners, so that'll be fun. All right, and that's about all I've got for you today. And again, if you want to enter to win that, you just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. That's the same way all my giveaways work. So sometimes, sometimes it's a gift card, sometimes it's promos, and every once in a great while, I'm able to do 4 at a time. I don't think I've ever done 4 giveaways. At most, I think I've had 2. And usually it's just 1, but at most I think I've had 2 before. So this one was a fun one. All right, guys. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I also want to give a big shout out to all my patrons on Patreon. You guys are absolutely amazing. So thank you all so much for your continued support as well. And that is about all I got. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.